Imagine watching a man walk into a hallway, and then never seeing him come out again. No exit, no escape, no trace. And yet, the entire moment was captured on camera. Today, we explore three of the most disturbing real disappearances ever recorded. Cases investigators still cannot explain, and mysteries that continue to haunt the world. This is Worlds Uncovered. It begins with one of the most chilling pieces of surveillance footage ever released. In 2013, 21-year-old Elisa Lam stepped into an elevator at the Cecil Hotel in Los Angeles. The camera captured her acting in a way no one has ever been able to fully explain. She pressed multiple buttons. She stepped in and out of the elevator repeatedly. She hid in the corner, peering out into the hallway as if someone or something was standing there. She moved her hands in strange, fluid motions, like she was communicating with an unseen presence. And then she walked out of the elevator and vanished. For nearly 3 weeks, police searched every floor of the hotel, an exhaustive effort involving K-9 units and interviews with every staff member. But the search yielded nothing. No leads, no sightings. It was as if Elisa Lam had vanished into thin air within the hotel's walls. The case was growing cold, until guests began complaining. First, it was about low water pressure. Then, the complaints became more disturbing. An unusual, sweetish taste from the tap, and a strange dark color to the water. The hotel management knew they had to investigate the source immediately. A maintenance worker was dispatched to the roof to check the hotel's large cistern water tanks. He peered over the edge of one of the main tanks and made a horrifying discovery. It was Elisa's body, floating naked inside. The search was over, but the mystery had just begun. What happened between that bizarre elevator ride and her discovery in the water tank remains a deeply unsettling question. The rooftop door was locked and alarmed with no sign of forced entry. The tank lids were incredibly heavy and difficult to open from the outside, let alone close from the inside. And the bizarre behavior captured on camera still has no definitive explanation. How did she get there? Some believe it was a tragic psychotic breakdown, a symptom of her diagnosed bipolar disorder. Others are convinced someone was following her, a predator who knew the hotel's secrets. And some feel the truth is far stranger, tied to the hotel's dark and haunted history. Our next case takes us to the sunny shores of Golden Sands, Bulgaria, a popular resort destination that became the backdrop for one of Europe's most unsettling disappearances. In the summer of 2014, 28-year-old German tourist Lars Mittonk was vacationing with friends. After a minor scuffle, he was left with a ruptured eardrum, an injury that prevented him from flying home with his group due to the change in cabin pressure. Staying behind alone in a cheap hotel, Lars grew increasingly paranoid. He made a frantic, whispered call to his mother, claiming that 4 men were trying to kill him and that she should cancel his credit cards. The next morning, he managed to get a taxi to Varna Airport, seemingly seeking safety. CCTV footage shows him calmly entering a medical consultation room to see the airport doctor. But moments later, for reasons unknown, he suddenly bolted from the room in a state of sheer panic, sprinting through the airport at full speed. He abandoned all his belongings, his wallet, phone, and passport, leaped over a tall barbed wire fence, and disappeared into the dense surrounding woods. He was never seen again. Was he suffering from a paranoid delusion, perhaps triggered by medication, or was someone actually following him? His disappearance remains a complete and chilling mystery. In 2006, the start of spring break should have been a time of celebration for Brian Schaffer, a promising medical student at Ohio State University. Instead, it marked the beginning of one of the most baffling disappearances in recent history. On the night of March 31st, Brian was seen on camera entering the Ugly Tuna Saloon, a popular bar in Columbus, Ohio. Surveillance footage from the bar's only public entrance clearly shows him walking in around 1:55 a.m. He was briefly seen talking with 2 women just inside the bar. But after that moment, he vanishes from the record. He never appears on any camera leaving the building. Investigators meticulously accounted for every other person who entered that night. All were seen leaving on camera, except Brian. An exhaustive police search of the bar from top to bottom turned up nothing. They reviewed hours of footage frame by frame, desperate for a clue. There was no sign of him walking out, being carried out, or hiding inside. The building, which was under construction, had another exit, but it was not typically used by the public and showed no signs of use. Adding to the confusion, his phone later pinged miles away, suggesting he had somehow left the area, but no physical trace of Brian or his phone was ever found. How someone could enter a building with cameras monitoring the only exit and simply cease to exist remains a profoundly baffling mystery that haunts his family and investigators to this day. 3 disappearances, 3 real people, all captured on camera, and still, no one knows exactly what happened. Were these accidents, crimes, psychological breaks, or something far more unusual? Tell me in the comments, which of these cases disturbed you the most? This is Worlds Uncovered. Subscribe to uncover more. As this hallway rolls on, remember, cameras reveal, and they also conceal. Hallways swallow seconds, and rumors fill the frames. If you noticed a clue we missed, leave it below. We read every comment. More mysteries are on the way. This is Worlds Uncovered. Stay curious, stay safe, and keep watching.